Alright, we're running a bit late today. Couldn't find my car keys. Have a look at the sun turtlenecking out. We're going to run probably an hour and a half late today, but it's alright. Boys will get it started. We're going to probably run into bricks too. I think they're scheduled to come this afternoon or tomorrow. Couple more days, hopefully 2 to 3 max left on the job. We're just going to go past now and have a look at our next one of our next jobs anyway. Not as far of a drive, a bit closer to home, half an hour from us in the traffic. Traffic's just moved away. It was chock-a-block a minute ago, but we're free flowing now, so we're going to have a look and see what we've got to do there and make our way out, depending on whether there's bricks or not there. Alright, just pulled up to our next one. This is the design. This is the facade. We've got 2 curved walls here leading into the garage. This one actually has brickwork that goes down halfway, and then it's a cladding for the second half of the wall down both sides and across the rear. So I'm going to walk in there if I can, have a look around. There's no bricks here yet. I think it's just being framed out, but this one's a bit closer to where we live around Alton. We do a lot of work around Alton area. And there's a lot of knockdown rebuilds around this area, which is obviously one of these. So let's go in and have a look. This is where our curved wall is going to go. So this curved wall comes around. This wall runs into here. Got brickwork up and over this garage, a double skin wall here. And it's going to support the roof here. So, and that's where the brickwork finishes. So there's 2 garages on this one. There's the entrance, the facade, brickwork that goes a couple of piers up and around this, the center of this facade here, and it's symmetrical on the other side. So there's another curve wall there, brickwork up and into here, brickwork around the meter box, up and over here, double skin wall again on this side. There's a bit of timber in the way, so we're probably not going to be here for, there's no bricks either. I dare say it's another week or 2 away, but that's actually it. The brickwork finishes here. This other half is here or some sort of clad, and then at the back there's a wing wall, which I'll show you now. The only other bit of brickwork we got is here. So it's a double skin wing wall that comes out, supports the roofs at the back. So this comes out, double brick here, back T formation, back into this parting wall. So that's a job for a couple of weeks. So I've just spoken to the boys that are out at Preston. There's only 700 bricks on site, so I'm going to leave them out there to continue on finishing that section that we were doing yesterday, and they'll also start setting up the piers at the back for tomorrow. We might go past one of our jobs. We've got a couple of repair items to do, so me, Dino, and my dad will go knock over some of those jobs and make sure that we're in the clear, and we're ready to go to move forward on the jobs tomorrow and pump through Preston for the next 2 days. So we're going to take you to one of our jobs that we completed in Point Cook, get through a couple of the items there, and yeah, so this is one to look forward to. Alright, we've pulled up at one of the jobs. We've got a couple of repairs on. This is a job we did about 2 months ago or so. So the scaffold's come down on it, it's been brick cleaned, and I'm going to do an honest assessment of how I think it's come up. So I'll try not to get the builder's name in there. Don't feel like having a lawsuit at the moment. So I am going to walk around and give an absolutely honest assessment on how I think the job's come up and what we could improve on and what could look better. So let's get into it. Alright, there was a lot of innie outies sections. As you can see, I set up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 profiles excluding the two piers on the facade. That's the garage. It's washed up not too bad actually. That looks okay. I'm happy with how that one's come up. The rendered piers look pretty square and in line with each other. If I check the edges. The facade here. Now these bricks tend to, and I've had this in the past where they're painted with black bricks, after a brick clean happens, they do tend to chip. And you can see the red underneath, but I think the brick cleaner has done a relatively decent job on what I can see here. Front door sill looks pretty square. Let's go check the backyard. So this one goes pretty high up in the air. We had a double story that brickwork actually catches the fascia up there. Now this is a weird one. According to these engineering plans, these articulation joints, or AJs, or control joints, whatever you want to call them, actually step across when we get to the window sill height. So awfully bizarre if you ask me. I don't know why they don't just run it up straight. It looks horrendous. It hasn't been caulked yet either, so it actually has to come up, and we have to put what we call a slip knot in the DPC and overlap them, and that just steps across and then goes up like that according to the plan. That's exactly how it's drawn up. Yeah, it looks a bit ugly for mine. Here's an example of bricks getting hit by something, whether it be a bobcat or someone that's walked past and maybe with a wheelbarrow or something, but this happens a lot with painted bricks. So we've got that one to replace. And this is all free of charge, by the way. There's no extras for coming back and doing this sort of work, even if it wasn't our fault. This is just a part of doing work for certain builders. So this one's needs to come out at hip height. That's on the report. On the report also is the sill bricks getting blown out at the ends. This one might just have to have the rubber pulled forward, but you can see at the top of the perps there's quite a few blowouts there. So yep, that could be on me for not buttering up the perps enough, but also I think that the cleaners do go pretty hard a lot and very often on the sills, which causes a lot of blowouts. Looking at the lines and the bed joints here, there is a little bit of a hump at this one. Now this is another thing we find quite often with these bars, especially if there's double story and it's holding up a lot of weight. They tend to order these 12mm L bars, lintels, which when you come up against this and with the bed joint, it does create a bit bigger of a joint than typically what the other ones are. So you can see that one there is probably a good 2 or 3mm bigger than this bed joint here, and then subsequently makes the one above it a little bit more narrow. So this, possibly we could check the brick out over this bar and have it checked out 10mm past the face to have it sitting down and possibly making that a bit better. The brickwork on top looks pretty straight, pretty plumb. But yeah, that's just one thing that we can watch when we're doing that. That's what it looks like from the side. It's a little bit wavy. So we could potentially check those out, I reckon, given these bars are thicker than the actual bed joints itself. That's what it looks like from the back. So there's a lot of brickwork in that. A lot of straight bricks above those windows. It's come up reasonably well. Tried to avoid cuts where we could. There was one here when this AJ started at the top of this window, so there is a little bit of a smallish cut there. Unavoidable, but let's have a look up closer, see what the sills look like. We've got the sills bonded out nicely, relatively straight joints. A couple of blowholes again, look, where we've had our clamps in. potentially haven't filled them up before we've left, or filled them up not deep enough, full enough. So they've been blown out. So on the inspection, we've got to go past and do blowouts all the way around. Blowouts at the tops of these, so see what the sills are like here. Yep, always happens on it. Every job we do, you get blowouts on the top of those. So got to go around and do that. This side looks all right. Not too many blowouts here. Again, a couple of good straight runs of brick. This hasn't been caulked yet. So none of the AJs on the ground floor have been caulked, but we've notched out bricks, cuts around these penetrations. Probably need to fill in a bit more mud there. What else is there? Those ones don't look too bad, those sills. Now the other thing was the meter box. I think there's been some sort of blowouts above this bar here. Yeah, need to fill in this where you can see the bar. I think they want me to run mud to fill that up under there. And blowouts there. Another one that they want replaced at hip height, which clearly a bobcat or something's hit. So I need to pull that brick out, the sill around there. Oh, there's another one. Another one here. So there's 3 bricks to replace that have been chipped. And the other thing was that half a brick there. So what actually happened was, when we were doing this, the scaffold that we were working on actually went into that corner. So I couldn't lay the brick and I couldn't tamper with the scaffold because it was holding up all the rails. So what I had to do is temporarily set a brick in there so I could continue running up the rest of it. But yeah, obviously I got to pull that out somehow with a ladder and replace that brick there. A little bit annoying, but so there's probably 1, 2, 3. The other side there was one more chipped. 4 bricks to replace, blowouts around, and filling in above that meter box and all the sills. So I did have to replace a couple of bricks here, which never got brick cleaned, which will be interesting to see how they're going to finish that off now. But I had it ran not far enough into the corner. I actually thought that this cladding came across and ran into the internal, so I had to redo that. But it hasn't been cleaned, so it's interesting there. So that's the job. There was a lot of bricks in it. I think it took us about 2 weeks to completely finish this whole job. It was 11 or 12,000 from memory. Overall, the appearance, pretty happy with how it's come up. It's always bits and pieces to learn and get better on though. So we're going to get into this. Dad's just going to get a little half a bag of cement. We'll mix it up with some of the leftover sand they got here and get to replacing these ones.